In this presentation, we will discuss the approach introduced by FITRAH, Henry Gant, Henry Vail, Mary Walker Follett, and Max Weber, as they were the primary related to the general administrative approach to management. Also, we will summarize the explanation of the approach and work by each management figure stated. Plus, it also contains our viewpoint about the approach in today's context, related examples to the approach, and also includes its advantages and disadvantages of the approach. In order to improve the management practices, Taylor focused on three areas which include tasks performed by the workers, supervision given to the workers, and motivation provided for the workers. The task performance can be defined as the efficacy which job holders carry out activities that contribute to the organization's technical core, either directly by executing a part of its technical process or indirectly by giving it with necessary materials or services. The task performance comprises the development of work standard, proper selection of workers, training of workers, and support for workers. Second area is the supervision. According to Taylor's study, revealed that a single supervision could possibly be an expert at all tasks. Supervision is a process in which a manager meets with workers on a regular basis to monitor their work. It is carried out in accordance with relevant regulation, guidance, standards, inspection requirements, and the provision and services requirements. The third area is motivation. Taylor believes that money motivates workers. He thus pioneered the differential price rate system, whereby workers are compensated based on their work or output. Based on our viewpoint, this approach could still relevant to be applied into the management process, and can be said that this approach is not that. However, with the help of the sources provided by the digital revolution, this management technique has been renewed and expanded to service sector occupation, resulting in digital terrorism. For examples, in a variety of fields including logistics, transportation, maintenance, commercial, customer service, and individual services, are now equipped with trackers that provide real-time data and information about the completion of the tasks, as well as instructions and assessment messages, allowing them to compare their performance to a predetermined target or to their peers. The advantages of a Frederick Wiesler approach is first reduction in the cost of production. It boosts output by incorporating mechanism and reducing technologies into the manufacturing process. The cost of production per unit is significantly decreased as a result of large-scale production. Second, a better quality product. Better quality products are ensured by using standardization and strong monitoring method. Is benefit of division of labor. The benefits received from the division of labor are guaranteed by the principle of specialization applied by scientific management. The task is simplified and performed in the most cost-effective and the efficient manner possible. The four advantages is the increased wages. Higher production is the goal of scientific management, and workers are compensated accordingly. Taylor proposed a differential incentive strategy that would reward productive workers with higher compensation. The greater income helps to improve the workers' standard of living. The disadvantages include the loss of individuals' initiative. This is because under scientific management, all work techniques are standardized and the foreman gives instructions to the worker. The workers are expected to do work in a consistent manner and follow the foreman's instruction. This has the effect of destroying the individual initiative, rendering their skill obsolete, monotonizing their tasks, and turning people into automatic. Next, we go to the Henry Gant's approach. Henry Gant's management approach incorporates the record of the work that has been done and has been balanced along with the work that still needs to be completed. The application of scientific analysis to every aspect of work will produce industrial efficiency. And Henry Gant introduced the task and bonus system, where the workers were able to earn a better living while learning how to increase their work efficiency and production, which frequently result in more effective than doubling. The concern for the workers and employee morale was one of the most important things in management. The Gantt chart. According to the Gantt approach, a Gantt chart is a bar chart that shows the progressive of time through phase of a project. This chart can be simple or complex based on the needs of the project manager and the team as they decide on how to manage a project. Based on our viewpoint on this approach, Gantt chart was extremely useful in almost any industry in today's context. Gantt charts are used by only a few types of teams and business to schedule, plan, and execute projects. For example, event planning, consulting agencies, marketing teams, construction, software development, design, and creative and manufacturing. The fact that Gantt chart are still used by a few companies is because they are ideal for certain jobs or work projects that have a hard deadline. Multiple people or teams are involved in a project and needs to be coordinated, like a boss, client, or team members want to see a visual time of the project from start to finish, and the work project involves even a minor complexity. The advantages of this approach was easy to schedule the tasks and easy to understand with clear and visual representation of time frames, and easy to add dependency and creativity shows our project lines. Third is create a picture of complexity and helps people to understand more about the ideas. Fourth, have organization to set a realistic period, which the bars on the chart indicate the period of particular task or set of tasks will be completed. The disadvantages of Gantt chart is including the fact that a large number of tasks will be undertaken and resources employed will be used to complete the project. Also, the size of the bar does not indicate the amount of work, where each bar on the chart indicates the time periods over which a particular set of tasks will be completed. Additionally, in this approach, it needs to be seen on a big scale and difficult to see on only one sheet of paper, because this chart needs to be viewed on a computer screen, usually in segment, to be able to see the whole project progress. In addition, this can be very time-consuming if the management wants to print out the chart, but this normally entails quite a lot of exercise if the organization is going to do this frequently.
Rockefeller is an American sociologist who is the best recognized for incorporating human psychology and human relations concepts to interaction management. Mary Rockefeller, known as the mother of modern administration, was a pioneer in developing a participatory and integrative administration structure. Approach of Mary Rockefeller. 1. Principle of management follows through due on management theory or modern management theory and contribute to it. 2. Conceive as well as cooperative power. Mary Rockefeller was a strong believer in both of conceive and cooperative power. 3. Dispute resolution. According to the following characteristics, conflict resolution, which is an alternative dispute resolution strategy, aim to reframe the problem so that the solution is a balanced consequence of all parties that involve the interest. Mary Rockefeller approach into the content recognized that the most important approach to accomplish organization success in through partnerships, working toward hard a common goal and solve shared concern as a collective effect. According to Follett, 2. Condition authority on the ability to enable integration based on experience in a particular. Luckily, a group operates with a deeply distinct sort of strength and force in contrast to an order. 3. As an inflexible leader, I use shared purpose. Another reason why collective reform can be perfected without management and monetary is then direct a common reason. Mary Rockefeller example. 1. Expression difference followed the belief that each person's voice was critical to democracy, people disagreement, as well as the following war drove in innovation. 2. Organization of a group as a method of collective organization, democracy, and personal development. Followed introduced the concept of community organizing. 3. Management according to Follett, the ability of humans to be willing co-creators in their life make relationship a crucial means of personal and social growth. Advantage and disadvantage. Advantage. 1. Improve workers' problem-solving skill. Employees can work together to solve problems and hold debates when they work as a team. 2. Improve cohesion. When a job exercise cohesion, the employee's job will be easy to do. 3. Managers must develop positive working relationship with their staff. Employee-manager relationship can be improved through integration inside a corporation. Disadvantage. It is not always possible to conduct integrated troubleshooting because the concept of teamwork will be examined from the standpoint of a group. It was one of the most important contributors to the development of administrative management theory. Administrative management differs from scientific management in that scientific management, which is quoted by one of the early advocates, Frederick W. Taylor, is concerned with individual employee jobs, whereas administrative management is concerned with the overall managers of the company. Approach Henry Fayol. Much of the general approach to this management psychology is based on Henry Fayol's administrative management. Firstly, planning. Practice the future, creating a structural plan of action and identifying the action's aims and objectives are all examples of planning. Secondly, organizing. Organizing is the process of building up an organizational structure that brings together human and non-human resources to collaborate under supervision. Thirdly, commanding, which is the process of a superior delivering order and guidance to a subordinates. This aspect can encourage employees to complete the task at hand. Fourthly, conducting, which is concerned with ensuring that everything in the organization is running well. Managers should work with their teams to coordinate procedure and action so that the goals are met in an effective and efficient manner with the right resources. Lastly, controlling. Controlling the entails comparing the organization actual performance to the target performance level and defining whether or not there is room for improvement. Point about the approach in the today's content. Henry Fayol, a strategist who was in charge of the business turnaround and developed the seed management position and 14 management principle. He demonstrated unique approaches for managers to help their employees become more efficient in achieving their goals. Almost every job in Henry Fayol's company includes two people, which are one who disrupted responsibility and the others to fulfill them. The idea of Fayol are applicable to the way tasks are done and the computation techniques used to delegate them, because his general management concept may be extended to an organization case operation. The basic element can suit the needs and fulfill the goal of the business. Real example, Henry Fayol thoughts and ideas have remained popular throughout the 20th century, and management textbook authors and professors who are seeking to preserve management history still employ them. They put history into practice and continue to teach the same business ethics and knowledge that Fayol and others did, but in fresh ways they are more relevant to today's event and scenarios. Advantage Henry Fayol. 1. Simplify organizational structure. This is one of the key principles of Henry Fayol's theory. Fayol once taught about the organizational structure where the highest level of management is as a strong leader. 2. To motivate employees through fair compensation. While the advantage and disadvantage of Fayolism are still discussed, it is a valid belief that business leaders must compensate people in a way that pushes them to achieve above requirements. Disadvantage are others in life structure and function process, especially those relate to arbitrary allocation and responsibility increase productivity, may increase yields in management but often result in layoff or extract value of wages that should have been given.
In this slide, I want to talk about Max Weber. His full name is Maximilian Karl Emil Weber. He was a sociologist and political economist in Germany. He made ideas on bureaucratic theory. He was born on April 21, 1864, and he is the eldest one in his family. He worked as a lawyer and died on June 14, 1920 at Munich, Germany. Second, we talk about the Max Weber approach. He has introduced a theory of management bureaucracy that emphasizes a clear management hierarchy. The purpose is to build an orderly ordering system. This concept needs to be in place in the organization because, for example, the existence of job specialization to enable employers to perform their specific function, with clear hierarchy so that each unit activity can be coordinated. Rule and procedure are set to facilitate standardization and impartiality. Move to the Max Weber approach in the today's context. By using this bureaucracy in today's context, we can indicate the relationship and responsibility for given tasks. For example, at school, we use a hierarchical structure and a clear division of tasks. It starts from a head, the school principal, followed by administrative and officers under him such as senior administrative assistant, senior co-curriculum assistant, field head, and commits by subject, and then followed by academic teachers of their respective subject. Each person have their respective responsibility to make sure school management can run smoothly. Second, when we're using Max Weber approach in this study context, we can train employees to improve their skill in completing the task. For example, at office, there is a specialization of work. Each is allow them to carry out their respective function, and each job is determined based on their position. Next, when we're using Max Weber approach, they have an advantage and disadvantage. In this slide, I want to talk about the advantage first. The first one is there are rules and procedures set in the organization. Any procedure must be followed by everyone in the organization, and the procedure must be rational. Second is facilitating coordination. It is easier for employees to know their job position and responsibilities in the organization while making their tasks. And the disadvantage of using Max Weber approach is occurrence of work inefficiently. Employee only focus on one thing only and not give more attention to organization service. Second, organization often adopt a system of centralization of the power. That is, power is an organization according to the position. Like always, people who has a power in the organization always use their power for their self-interest. In conclusion, with organized management approach can help the organization achieve the set goals. Nowadays, many largest companies today useful are thanks to the practice of good management inspired by various approach, even also have a disadvantage in their approach. In this conclusion, I want to conclude about the role approach. For example, Frederick Winslow, Scientific Management, Henry Kahn, he made a Henry Child, Henry Fayol, 14 Basic Principles of Management, Mary Parker Follett introduced idea of human psychology and human relations, and Max Weber theory of management bureaucracy. And in sum, all the approach introduced are indeed should be the focus in the current management in order to ensure that all the goals and expectations of an organization can be well achieved. Thank you.